Imagine you live in Taiwan and you wake up one night hearing sirens, explosions, fighter aircrafts are bombing your country. There is chaos everywhere. But why? Why is this happening? What is the actual reason behind this attack? Why do innocent women and children have to die? The China that we all know today is People's Republic of China, and Taiwan is called Republic of China. The term China historically meant the various regimes and imperial dynasties which controlled territories in mainland Asia prior to 1911. When the imperial system was overthrown and the Republic of China was established as the first republic in Asia, in 1927, the Chinese Civil War started between the KMT, founding party of the Republic of China, and the CCP, Chinese Communist Party. The CCP eventually won and controlled most of the ROC's original territory. In late 1949, almost destroyed by the Chinese communist, Kuomintang relocated to Taiwan and reinvented itself. Not only did the KMT leadership build a new party, but it built a new polity on Taiwan that created economic prosperity. The Republic of China is prohibited from using its official name internationally under the pressure from People's Republic of China and uses Chinese Taipei in other organizations like Olympics. In 1972, China stated its One China policy. The One China policy is the position held by the People's Republic of China that there is only one sovereign state under the name China, which is People's Republic of China, and it serves as the legitimate government of that China. And Taiwan is a part of China. Most major countries like USA, UK, India, Russia, Japan officially recognizes One China policy, whereas only 15 countries recognize Taiwan as a country. China is so sensitive about this One China policy that in April 2018, the China Civil Aviation Authority wrote a letter to 36 airlines throughout the world, including US Airlines, Delta, United and American, Canadian Airline, Air Canada, demanding that they change travel destination cities in Taiwan their websites to list them under Taiwan Province of China. The Taiwan state is a 180-kilometer wide state separating the island of Taiwan and continental Asia. The state is a part of the South China Sea, which connects East China Sea to the north. Tensions between the China and Taiwan in the 1950s resulted in armed conflict over strategic islands in the Taiwan Strait. On two separate occasions during the 1950s, China bombed islands controlled by the Taiwan, and the United States responded actively by intervening on behalf of the Taiwan. Till now, 3 crises have took place between China and Taiwan. In every crisis, USA and its allies helped Taiwan to maintain its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Relations started improving in the 1980s as Taiwan relaxed rules on China's investments in its country. In 1991, it proclaimed that the war with China was over. China proposed the so-called one country, two system option, which it said would allow Taiwan significant autonomy if it agreed to come under Beijing's control. This system underpinned Hong Kong's return to China in 1997 and the manner in which it was governed until recently. When Beijing sought to increase its influence, Taiwan rejected the offer, and Beijing insisted that Taiwan's ROC government is illegitimate, but unofficially representatives from China and Taiwan still held limited talks. Then, in 2000, Taiwan elected Chen Shui-bian as president. Much to Beijing's alarm, Mr. Chen and his party, the Democratic Progressive Party, had openly backed independence. A year after Mr. Chen was re-elected in 2004, China passed a so-called anti-succession law, stating China's right to use non-peaceful means against Taiwan if it tried to succeed from China. Mr. Chen was succeeded by the KMT's Ma Ying-jeou in 2008, who tried improving relations through economic agreements. 8 years later, in 2016, Taiwan's current president, Tsai Ing-wen, who now leads the independence-leaning DPP, was elected. While political progress has been slow, both economies have grown significantly. Between 1991 and the May of 2021, Taiwanese investment in China totaled $193.5 billion. Taiwanese official figures shows that some of Taiwanese people worry their economy is now dependent on China, thus believe that closer business ties make Chinese military action less likely. because of the cost to China's own economy. Controversial trade agreement sparked the Sunflower Movement in 2014, where students and activists occupied Taiwan's parliament, protesting against what they called China's growing influence over Taiwan. Officially, the ruling DPP still favors formal independence for Taiwan, while the KMT favors eventual unification with China. But most Taiwanese people seem to fall somewhere in between. A June 2022 survey found out that only 5.2% of Taiwanese supported independence as soon as possible, while 1.3% were in favor of unification with mainland China or the earliest possibility. The rest supported some form of maintaining the status quo. The largest group, wanting to maintain it indefinitely with no move towards either independence or unification. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, landed in Taiwan on Tuesday, 2nd August, in evening, ignoring China's all threats. Pelosi's visit to Taiwan is the highest level visit by an American official to the island in a quarter century. US has maintained a one-China policy since the 1970s, under which it recognizes Taiwan as a part of China, but it has unofficial ties with Taiwan as well, a strategy that is known as strategic or deliberate ambiguity. Beijing considers Taiwan a part of China, threatens it frequently, and has not ruled out taking the island by military force at any time. While the political tensions have continued, China and Taiwan have economic ties. Many migrants from Taiwan work in China, and China has investments in Taiwan. China hit back at US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's landmark touchdown in Taiwan late Tuesday, with an unprecedented range of actions against the self-ruled island it considers its own. Within minutes of her arrival, People's Liberation Army announced provocative drills and missile launches encircling Taiwan, that was swiftly followed by economic sanctions on Taiwanese agricultural products. Pelosi's trip presents President Xi Jinping with a dilemma. Just months before a twice-a-decade leadership congress later this year, his response must be hard enough to satisfy a nationalist public by commentators, but avoid further destabilizing relations with the US and doing more damage to China's already faltering economy. Goods and import of Chinese sand. Beijing announced 6 exclusion zones encircling Taiwan to facilitate live-fire military drills from Thursday to Sunday. Some of the areas cross into island's territorial waters, threatening to disrupt airline traffic and shipping in the Taiwanese strait. China sent 21 board planes into Taiwan's southwestern air defense identification zone. The daily record is 56 PLA planes on October 4th, which coincides with nearby US-led military exercises. China could yet do more. The Communist Party's Global Times newspaper said that PLA could strike Taiwanese military targets and quoted an expert suggesting China exercises control over Taiwan's airspace and adjacent seas. Taiwan faced cyber attacks late Tuesday, with the presidential office saying it suffered a 20-minute barrage in the early evening hours that was 200 times worse than usual. The Taiwanese Foreign Ministry website had to face periodic disruptions. Most experts believe that China's most provocative response would be to seize one of the Taiwan's smaller outlying islands, although this is highly unlikely and there is no indication that the PLA is preparing to do so. We hope both sides come to diplomatic table and peace prevails.